Watercolor, moving water doesn't sparkle because we paint every single droplet. It sparkles because we allow the whites enough room to breathe and because we minimize the detail that is behind the water so it doesn't compete with it. Hi, I'm Beatriz. Welcome back to the studio. For today's tutorial, we're gonna be painting this beautiful fountain with all the moving water. We're gonna accomplish that by doing three simple things. We're gonna make sure that we save the important whites, the ones that matter, that we minimize the background, and that we put special darks where it matters. So let's just grab our brushes and let's start painting. See, I didn't put a whole lot of detail. I simplified the background a lot so that the water was continue to be the focus. We are going to build this step by step so that it will be easy as we paint. And if you would like to paint this with me, the paint along pack for this tutorial is inside Open Studio on my Patreon, where alongside all the tracing templates, reference image, color use, and the tutorial link all in one place waiting for you. To do is make this painting about the water, make the moving water the star. That meant that I had to make some changes into my reference picture. Number one, I'm gonna simplify all these back trees into one big sub shape. The other one that I decided to do is I'm not gonna focus on every detail of the fountain because I want the water to be the star. I'm gonna put some masking fluid and some of this splashing water. And the water that is bigger, I will just paint around it. These little ones makes life easier. Background colors, I'm going to be using Cobalt Blue by Daniel Smith, Turquoise by Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith calls it Sleeping Beauty, but it's a turquoise. And I'm also going to be using Magenta by Sminky. Wetting this background here. Now that the masking fluid is completely dry, let's go ahead and start dropping some colors. This is the mix that I did with the turquoise and the cobalt. Do a few endings, drop. Just do these endings like if a few leaves, the impressions of leaves. And before this area here dries, I'm gonna go ahead and start dropping some of my magentas. I want the colors to blend in the paper. I have masking fluid going around here. Best way for me is to wet a little area here. I do not wet too much into the endings. After that, I come with the turquoise colors, turquoise and blue, and I drop them. I want to have a few openings, kind of holes, and I work fast because I want this to look fresh. Finally, I drop the magentas, then I come with a thinner brush, and then I put some of these little endings back again to wet all this part now, and then I continue dropping the colors. I can drop the colors freely here because although this is water, I did save it with the masking fluid. Now, in this other area here by the fountain, I didn't, but it is bigger, so I just paint around it and there's no problem. Then just continue dropping the colors. In some areas more of the turquoise, and then in the other ones you go with the magenta. Then while everything is wet, and with my thinner brush, I take the time to go around the details of the fountain. If I can have a little bit more variation, I'm gonna do a few of these more on the bluish, meaning I'm diluted, but I am not gonna bring as much of the magenta. But what I'm gonna do important here is we're gonna start painting around the water. This part of the water was masked, but this one here I didn't. We drop, and then we make the edge of the fountain and of the water. I'm gonna leave a little bit of whites as if a little bit of the water is splashing. And once again, I come, oops, a little bit too thick. It's all right, happens, doesn't matter. You come back with some of the turquoise, and they will blend here in the paper. Now, I want this to be more soft, so now I'm just gonna spread those colors very diluted, just spreading. I don't have nothing in my brush, basically. For this part here where there was buildings, I don't want to make them all. So basically what I'm doing is come with a little more of the magenta mixed with a little bit of queen gold. Back to my magenta, more diluted, obviously. With this magenta, I'm gonna dilute it, and I drop a little bit of cobalt blue by itself, meaning no turquoise. Painting around the water and putting this all together like into one. If you, as you can see, the magenta with the cobalt blue is giving us like a purple, and that's fine. If you have one and you prefer to use it instead of mixing it, go for it. The only thing here is getting close to this water, so the water will pop up. Haven't forgot, we got a part over here which is also background. Same technique, we bring the colors close to the fountain. We have wetted ahead of time, so turquoise, and then we drop the magentas. So as you can see, I'm not only putting this as a one big mass of the tree greenery, I'm also decided to bring extra colors so that I can have it more vibrant, more like a summery day. For this, just for variation, I'm gonna come with the turquoise only. I'm still gonna drop some magenta, so this part is connected to this other one. The idea here is like put a few endings as if they are kind of leaves, and that sometimes is enough for our eyes to fill the rest. It's looking good. We got a good background now. We move on to the fountain. We're gonna start with the statue. For this, I'm coming here with indigo, diluted first. Not gonna put a whole lot of detail either here, which is gonna give the impressions of a statue. So let me follow my reference a little bit. So first, wherever I see light, I come with the light first. All right, so now that I have these lighter colors, then I'm gonna come with the same color, but thicker. And then we're gonna start putting drop a few shadows, and that is gonna give us shape, and that's pretty much all we wanna do. If you want to put more detail, go for it. But sometimes it's nice to do it with less, and I'm trying to show you in this video how we can accomplish that. All right, so a couple more lines here and there, and I'm pretty much gonna leave this alone. And I'm gonna wet this part because we're gonna go ahead and start painting this fountain. This is gonna be pretty dark. Gonna leave a little bit of that unpainted, like the sun is hitting this way, but I have masking fluid here, so I can go ahead and paint freely on top of it. I'm coming with magenta, but this time is a thicker magenta, meaning more paint. And at the bottom, I want it lighter. So same color, but more diluted in one than in the other. Dropping a little bit of the cobalt once again. I come with the indigo and the part that I wanted pretty dark. My water, the one that is safe with the masking, is gonna start appearing. All right, drop a little bit of that. Come back with all the magentas that we were having and drop them on top. And now we're gonna allow those to blend. Magenta is making the blend, but it's also picking some of the indigo. So therefore, I'm having these beautiful transitions. And some of that color and just diluting it, bringing it down. And then we get the impressions of some of this structure. Now, back to the magenta. Put it over here. Usually in sunny afternoons like this, when the sun hits, it kind of washes out. So we're gonna leave that pretty much unpainted. With a little bit of this color, we can put some there, and maybe some here as well. So I have this color and my brush. Let's just put the pedestal where the statue is resting. darker right here. This bottom part, which is darker, I'm bringing myself more magenta, thicker magenta. And then also, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and drop it wet on wet. I think I'm gonna wet it. All right, so I'm gonna wet. This is water, so obviously I'm staying away from it. Coming with a thinner brush and a paint around my water. So this is the edge where the water will go. Give me up a stopping point kind of there, meaning I have a little bit of water. And now I bring the indigo. And then I start blending. While I have this, I want to get a few of the shape of how the fountain, so it's not flat, you know, how it will go. All of these at the bottom will be dark. So now it's a good time to bring it down. With the darker color, now I come a little bit with the magenta. I pick some of that, I'll let them blend. Let me delete this kind of like in a stopping point for right now. And let me come with a little bit of that color and blend. I want something lighter there, but not as light. So let me come and help those to blend around here. With that, now I come with darker colors and let's just give the impressions of some of the silhouette of the fountain. But as soon as I go with that, then I come and help it blend. Well, I have these colors in my brush. I'm gonna come in between the water. The fountain will continue to go this way. So between these, some of the color of that will show through. So say it's one of that, this is another one. And now I just come with the magenta and then I go from more to less over there. This part is starting to dry, but it's not fully dry. I can go ahead and start doing the bottom and then they will meet other. For this, let me come with a little bit of bronze sienna. All right, so now switching to magentas. Blend these two together. And now I'm just gonna do here exactly the same thing that we did at the top. Magenta, then we will come with indigo. We let them blend. Let's just come here with a little bit of indigo by itself and let's just blend it with some of this bronze sienna background color that it was there. Let's just bring it a little bit here too, so everything is not white. It's not confused as if this is water too, which is not. So let's just bring it closer. I'm going to introduce a new color. This is sap green, and I come with the green, the sap green. I put a few hard edges here. Then I allow for a white area, and then I come back again. Again, I leave a little bit between the rim. This, believe it or not, is painting around the water, making the water, which is going to be here, up here. So I'm coming with this lighter color. Just say bring a few inside here. Now I'm bringing a little bit of indigo. Let's start bringing it here. And once again, I allow for some whites to show through. That the white is the water. And bring it darker there. Rinse. Tap, tap, tap to make these two blend. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white out there. It's gonna make sense in a minute. And then all this part, as you can see, is pretty dark. So now I darken it up. I bring in all my dark green. And we're gonna fill all of this up. Coming all the way to the rim or the bottom of the fountain. Now, come over there. While the green is wet, let's just bring some of these magentas, drop it, back to the green, let them blend in the paper. I have this green in my brush. Let's just I'm trying to make the roundness of the fountain, so maybe some will come over here. And it's just a little bit coming in between the water. The water is splashing here, so it will be a lot of a lot of foam, a lot of white. And I have a few other colors from the background, that kind of lilac or purple color that it came out by mixing magenta and cobalt blue. I'm gonna bring some over here, nothing major, but maybe imagine as if there are some doors or something from those buildings that we are in the reference picture, but that I am simplifying. So maybe over here too. Same dark greens that we were having over there, we're bringing it at the bottom of this fountain, dark first. Maybe here I want them a little bit darker. I'm leaving a rim. All right, so this is water. In between the water, it should be a little bit of that too. So let's just put a couple of these coming, a little squiggy, nothing major. Now I come in here with sap green and water. Yes, I'm building the fountain, and then I'm also bringing painting the water, but painting around it. I guess you could call this negative painting, if you will. Bringing it to the edge of what it will be water. Let's just break it up a little bit. The water will not come all straight. It's splashing after all, so maybe have a few here. And then I'm gonna start building the rest of the dark colors, then we will concentrate a little bit on that. So the dark green, I'm gonna come around here. And now I'm gonna do sort of like what I did over there. I don't wanna have too many hard edges, so I come, yeah, it has a little bit of color. I'm gonna start mixing my magenta with bronze sienna, maybe a little bit lighter, and the edges. So I'm bringing this color all the way to the top. I'm gonna start bringing the edge of what it will be the bottom of the fountain. I'm adding more color as I get into these darker parts, and I allow this to blend. All right, when you put it, keep in mind that we are doing kind of like an oval, so don't put it all flat. And then it's gonna go from more to less. I can bring a little extra water, let this blend, and then come with then come and apply the shadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and start coming with the magenta while it's wet, because I want this to blend nicely here. This is obviously the same that we did on the top, magenta with indigo, but slightly more indigo this time. Blending with the greens. So we're gonna have one line. It's gonna come all the way till here. Now let's just darken this and go from more to less. All right, so while all this dries, one thing that I can do is with the original background colors, I can go ahead and put these shadows a little bit stronger. So then I start dropping some of them. The main idea, the one I'll do this is so that I can put these shadows and the ground a little bit darker. And then we're gonna bring this closer to the edge and to the water. Now let me show you, I'm gonna bring this color closer to the water, and this is what is gonna make this water appear. I can bring some in this other edge and do the same thing. Tap, tap, tap with water, tap, tap, tap. Now I'm just gonna come with a couple lines here and there. Maybe there are more doors in those buildings. Let's just get a couple here and there, and right away I go with water. I'm not gonna make it too much, just enough so there's some of the light over there, because you know water is not a solid curtain. So we put some and then light it up, light it up. Colors is the same thing here. You see, we put those. It will seem like nothing, but it is like the fountain is coming. All right, so let's just put some of this here or there and dropping it. Just put these finishing touches here. For example, here the light needs to come a little bit more deep, so come with only water grab a little bit and bring it out. I'm bringing a little bit of the very diluted of burnt sienna so that I can make this turn a little bit, since there's the water of the white of the water and the white of the sun hitting at the edge, but this one separates them slightly, not a lot of color. And since I have that color over there, I can bring some to finish some of this water here too. I don't want some over there, right? Some darkers. And now back to some of these other lighter ones. All right, I think that at this point I'm gonna remove all the masking fluid. All right, so look how lovely it is. I wasn't having a whole lot of masking, but I wanna do one thing. Let me show you. If I come with the original colors, if I can paint around the whites that are left, and then I come with the magenta. So now I can make the white appear even more. And now this pool of water looks a little bit stronger, only because the colors are darker around it. Should I do it here? I could, but I don't want to do it everywhere. So let's do it just in a couple places. And by doing that, see, now we can get to see this more like water. And the other thing that it makes it look very much like water is the fact that everything is kind of broken. We don't have a big straight line going in both ways. More believable. Let's just put a couple here in the inside. Some of those purples. The painting looks fresh. The water looks with movement and like it's splashing. So I think that this is a good point to stop. I hope that painting this beautiful fountain allows you to see moving water in a different way. As long as we save the important whites and then we keep the lines broken, your moving water will feel natural, regardless if it looks like mine or if it looks different. The Paint Alone pack is my open studio in Patreon. Over there you will get access to the line drawings, tracings, and reference pictures alongside colors and all the other Paint Alone packs that have been put over there through the months. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to paint more water features, regardless if it's moving water or waterfalls or reflections, etc. It helps me prepare for future videos. As always, I thank you for being here. I hope that you learned something with me today, and I will see you in my next video.